So, you're sad. Things didn't go your way. You got rejected, disrespected, maybe even ghosted by someone who quoted Quran in their bio. You're staring at the ceiling, overthinking life while your coffee gets cold and your future feels like a scratched DVD stuck on the word why. Yeah, I know that feeling. That bitter silence that follows a heartbreak, a failure, or just the realization that everyone on Instagram is somehow richer, happier, and more photogenic than you. And you're sitting there with last week's laundry still judging you from the corner. But before we get to hope, we have to get honest. Before we talk about healing, we have to admit what's broken. So let's start at the beginning. The part no one posts about. The part where it hurts. The world's a circus. A twisted, neon-lit, algorithmically curated circus where everyone's pretending they've got it all figured out, and you're the only one who forgot your lines. But here's the kicker. You're not forgotten. You're not ignored. And you're definitely not invisible. Not to the one who matters. See, the problem isn't that you're sad. The problem is that you've been tricked into believing sadness means something's gone wrong. As if pain is a glitch in the system. As if feeling low is a defect instead of a divine signpost. You want raw truth? Here it is. Sadness is part of the design. Yep, sadness. The emotional bruises, the unanswered prayers, the nights you cry on a prayer mat wondering why your duas sound like echoes in an empty hallway. That's all part of the journey. Because here's something your ego doesn't want to admit. You're not the main character. Allah is. And you're the traveler, the guest, the temporary visitor in a world that was never built to keep you smiling forever. This place is a test center, not a spa resort. And if you're hurting right now, let me tell you this straight up. Don't be sad. Allah knows. Let's be honest. People walk around these days like emotional zombies, scrolling like robots, laughing at memes while quietly bleeding inside. And when someone does feel something real, we call it weakness. But here's the twist. Feeling pain doesn't make you broken. It makes you real. It means your heart's still beating. It means you're not one of those numb souls sleepwalking through life, chasing likes, dopamine, and shallow validation. No, you're not numb. You're hurting because you care. You're sad because something meant something to you. And that's beautiful. That's human. That's spiritual. Don't let a plastic society convince you that sadness is something to medicate, mute, or scroll past. The Prophet himself cried when he lost his loved ones. He grieved, he paused, he felt. And guess what? He was the most beloved to Allah. So don't you dare think your tears are a sign of distance from Allah. In fact, they might be the exact thing pulling you closer. You want to know who's really in trouble? The ones who can't feel anything anymore. The ones whose hearts are so crusted over with dunya and dopamine that they've forgotten what it means to be raw, to be soft, to fall into sujood at 3 a.m. with nothing but your heartbreak and your whispered Ya Allah. Because that's not weakness. That's intimacy. That's the moment Allah says, I am near. That's the proof you haven't given up. And even if you did feel like giving up, guess what? Allah doesn't give up on you. He doesn't throw you out when you sin. He doesn't ghost you like the world does. He watches, he listens, he waits. And not like some disappointed boss with a clipboard, but like Ar-Rahman, the one who gave you that sadness to begin with. So you'd finally turn back. You think that sadness came from nowhere? No, it came with purpose. Because when everything's going great, when the money's flowing, the DMs are full, and your skin's glowing in Kirida, you forget. You get drunk on dunya, and you start thinking you're invincible. So Allah, in His mercy, not His wrath, gives you a little ache, a little emotional slap, not to destroy you, but to wake you up. He shakes your heart because He still wants it. He lets the storm hit because He knows there's something in you that can only grow in the rain. You think this chapter is the whole book? Come on, man. You think the heartbreak, the failure, the unanswered dua, that's where it ends? You've forgotten who the author is. Allah doesn't write tragedies for His believers. He writes transformations. Every heartbreak, every breakdown, every "why is this happening to me?" It's not the end. It's the beginning of the plot twist. You know what the angels said when Allah created you? Are you placing on earth someone who will cause corruption and spill blood? They looked at you, humanity, and saw only the mess. But Allah knew. He said, I know what you do not know. That's you. You with all your flaws and failures and late-night breakdowns. You the one who thinks they've messed up too much or fallen too far. Allah still says, I know what you do not know. He sees the version of you that rises from this sadness stronger, wiser, more faithful. The one who turns their wounds into worship. The one who finally says, Ya Allah, I trust you even when I don't understand. That's the plot twist. That's the climax of your arc. And let me tell you, if this dunya was supposed to satisfy you, Allah wouldn't have made death a requirement. You're not meant to feel whole here. You're meant to remember. Remember that your soul is from a higher place. Remember that the ache you feel isn't failure, it's homesickness. You're not broken. You're being rebuilt. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. Prepared for what? For something far greater than this cheap movie set we call the world. Prepared for the day when the tears you cried in secret will weigh heavier than mountains, when every lonely sujood, every whispered dua, every broken moment where you said I still believe becomes a crown on your head. So don't be sad, brother. Or be sad, but don't stay there. Cry. Feel. Fall down if you need to. But don't forget to rise. And when you rise, do it knowing this. Allah knows. He knows your pain, He knows your patience, He knows the nights you broke in half and the mornings you forced to smile. So walk through your sadness like a man walking through the rain, not because it doesn't sting, but because you know who sent it, and you trust where it's leading. And where is it leading? To Him, and to the greatest reward your heart could ever imagine. Not fame, not followers, not some perfect life on earth, but a garden where there is no sadness, no loneliness, no heartbreak, only peace. And the one who says to you, I never forgot you. Not even once. You think Allah wants perfection from you? He wants progress. He wants the version of you that keeps showing up, even when you feel unworthy to be seen. You're not behind. You're not lost. You're just in the middle of a story that hasn't finished yet. And the author of that story doesn't make mistakes. Jannah isn't for the flawless. It's for the ones who fell and still crawled back to sujood. Now, it's your turn, brother. Share your experience below. And hey, I am going to be here for a while, so make sure to subscribe to Inneriman. See you on the other side. Trust Allah. Bye.